The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, arguably the most eagerly awaited spin-off in the zombie franchise's history, sought to conclude Rick and Michonne's epic love story. However, will Season 2 be produced? The show, which debuted in February 2024, is set after The Walking Dead's events and centers on Rick and Michonne's attempts to get back together as a militant group starts to establish its control over the post-apocalyptic world. The Ones Who Live was the most ambitious TWD spin-off, but it was by no means the only one. In keeping with all the previous Walking Dead spin-offs that AMC has created in recent years, The Ones Who Live was first conceived as a feature film before being expanded into a miniseries. However, there was a lot of anticipation for Andrew Lincoln to return to the character that had underpinned the franchise for years, because Rick had been missing from the series for so long, and The Ones Who Live immediately gained greater seriousness. The Ones Who Live is only supposed to run for one season, but there's a good chance it may return for a second. The Ones Who Live Season 2 latest news. A second season isn't entirely out of the question. The most recent update provides a ray of optimism for The Ones Who Live Season 2, despite the fact that a year has gone by with no news about the show. In his open discussion of Rick and Michonne's future in the Walking Dead series, showrunner Scott M. Gimple hinted to the possibility of a second season of The Ones Who Live. The plan was to keep it limited, he stated again, but he added, not necessarily never to see those characters again. With regard to a real second season, however, Gimple merely remarked, "You never know." Gimple's full comments. The plan was to keep it limited, not necessarily never to see those characters again, but to keep it limited. But I always say, you never know. There's so many. I've been very careful to not say, oh, that'll never happen, because it does. So there are possibilities, and there's possibilities of all sorts of strange iterations of shows with those characters and with other characters. So, I think it's entirely possible. The Ones Who Live Season 2 is not confirmed. AMC intends for The Ones Who Live to be a miniseries. The Ones Who Live had always been conceived as a one-season series since it promised to be an epic conclusion to Rick and Michonne's journey. But as the show's protracted development demonstrated, plans are always subject to modify if necessary. If there is sufficient fan demand for Season 2 of The Ones Who Live, AMC would probably want to maintain the success of the Walking Dead franchise. The Ones Who Live Season 2 prospect was discussed quite openly by showrunner Scott Gimple, and his remarks imply that anything is possible. Anything is possible, Gimple remarked in a mysterious tone. Nothing is impossible, even if Rick dies in the final episode. Gimple may have hinted that AMC had a fallback option in case fans desire more, but fans have long suspected that something significant would occur at the conclusion of the miniseries. AMC obviously wants to hedge their bets, even though nothing particularly noteworthy occurred. The Ones Who Live Season 2 cast. Who will return if the series is renewed? Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes and Guerrera as Michonne are the show's main cast members, and if the show is renewed, both of them will probably appear in a second season. The title duo is far more important than the rest of the ensemble in The Ones Who Live Season 1, yet they are also far more expendable. Paul McIntosh, who plays Jadis Stokes in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and another spin-off called World Beyond, is the only other cast member who might remain. The presumptive cast of The Ones Who Live includes Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes and Guerrera as Michonne. The Ones Who Live Season 2 story. What could happen in Season 2? Because Season 1's conclusion was rather definitive, it is now hard to predict exactly what would occur if The Ones Who Live gets renewed for another season. It was an emotionally fulfilling conclusion to the cherished characters and their protracted journey, even though it barely excluded the possibility that the story would go on. The Walking Dead doesn't have to end, though, because zombies and other human tribes are still a threat. Flashbacks that fill in the blanks about Rick's life between The Walking Dead and The Ones Who Live could be included in the second season. However, Rick and Michonne might feel that a new force threatens their newfound peace, which would motivate them to take action once more. The Ones Who Live will always be about Rick and Michonne's struggle for survival, as the title implies. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.